All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the Detroit Lions. So now that we have the official release of the NFL schedule, I'm looking at the Lions, I'm looking at their schedule, I'm looking at their roster, I'm looking at their draft picks, I'm looking at their offseason, I'm just looking at the Detroit Lions, and my eyes like what they see. Man, the Detroit Lions will win the NFC North. All right, take it from a cheesehead. The Lions will definitely win the NFC North. And I want to say really quickly, shout out to the NFL schedule makers for putting the first game of the season, Lions at Kansas City, Thursday night, primetime football, the first game of the year. I cannot wait. Guys, I'm not good at math. May, June, July, August, September. We're 4 months away from the entire NFL fan base world watching the Detroit Lions upset the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions, in the first week of the football season. I absolutely can't wait. And I know Lions fans can't wait either. But to be honest with you, I do have the Lions winning it. Obviously, that's 4 months down the line, so I'm just being, a little ahead of myself here. But the Lions will win 10 games this year. All right. Easy schedule, difficult schedule. It honestly doesn't matter. I just love what Detroit has done with their roster in the last couple of seasons under Brad Holmes. I love their coaching staff. I love their players. I love the fan base. The Detroit Lions will win 10 games this year. And we're going to talk about why and how in today's video. So before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Lions fans, I love you guys so much. You guys know the deal. I have a ton of family in Detroit. I used to live in Detroit. So I love the Lions, even though I'm a Packers fan. And, last season wasn't the easiest, but I think, and we've talked about this for so long, like the week 18 victory over Green Bay on the road, it was a statement win. All right. Even though the Detroit Lions didn't make it into the playoffs, it was a statement win. All right. Now, before we get any further, if we could get 250 likes on today's video, that would be absolutely awesome. I can't remember if I said that or not. Feels like might be the first time that's ever happened, but hit that like button if you haven't already. So just a really, really quick overview of the Detroit Lions offseason, headlined by the addition of one of the best young safeties in the entire league in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You picked up nice pieces, guys like Cameron Sutton. Graham Glasgow comes back to the Detroit Lions. He made some interesting moves at the running back position. Jamal Williams is no longer with the team. All right. I do think that will work out for the Lions' benefit in the long run, although I do love Jamal Williams. You also brought back Marvin Jones Jr., who was with Detroit a couple of years ago, just like Graham. And, we look at the draft, and I just think they killed it, man. You could nitpick the Lions' offseason. Right? You could be like, all right, well, their wide receiver core is a little bit shaky. It was shaky-ish to begin with, and then Jameson Williams got a 6-game suspension. You lost DJ Chark. You bring back Marvin Jones Jr. I'm actually going to talk about why I'm not too worried at all about the Detroit Lions receiving core. But keep in mind, the main emphasis for Detroit was the defense. However, if you watched the last 7 or 8 games of the regular season, I'm not too worried about the Detroit Lions defense. So it wasn't a crazy surprise to me that they ended up taking Jahmyr Gibbs at pick number 12. They traded back, obviously, and took Jahmyr Gibbs at pick number 12. To me, this was like a big ball move or a big baller move for our basketball fans out there. This is a move where it's like, if you're the Lions, if you're Brad Holmes, you're like, we have a roster that's ready to compete, and we're going to help take it to the next level, because that's kind of my overarching point with this offense is Detroit last season was a top 5 scoring offense. Right? They were a top 4 yardage, fourth most yardage in the league. The Lions' offense last year was money, all right? And their offensive line was spectacular. Jamal Williams did a great job. Jared Goff did a phenomenal job. And they got rid of DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams. Well, they technically picked up Jahmyr Gibbs before trading away DeAndre Swift, but I like it. Jahmyr Gibbs is one of those players where you look even just at face value on paper and you're like, the Lions took a running back at pick number 12. All right, Bijan Robinson. I would understand if you take Bijan Robinson, all right? Jahmyr Gibbs, though, well, to be honest with you, to keep it a buck and to keep it short, Jahmyr Gibbs fits what the Detroit Lions, Ben Johnson, and their offense is looking for exactly. And then you brought in David Montgomery as well. So once again, you have a two-headed monster at that running back position. What I imagine is David Montgomery will be your main guy for the first half of the season, and then second half of the season, it'll get a little bit more specialized. It'll get even more versatile, even more creative, and we're going to see Jahmyr Gibbs just make use of any snaps he sees. But at the same time, David Montgomery is a really solid running back. And then at pick number 18, they take Jack Campbell. I love this pick. He fits Dan Campbell. He fits the Detroit Lions so beautifully. Okay. And then a fellow teammate in the second round, Sam Laporta, my Illinois boy. I was born and raised here in Illinois. I'm not here. I'm in Florida, neither here nor there. Anyways, Sam Laporta in high school was a freaking stud. And I want to say really quickly, if he didn't go to Iowa, Sam Laporta would have been selected between the first tight end selected, right? He would have been like probably at worst a late first round pick. Well, he was early second round pick. So obviously Brad Holmes and this Detroit Lions team see something in him. And just like Jack Campbell, I love Iowa prospects. Their offense has never been good, or at least in like my tenure of watching college football, I was never had like that dude at the quarterback position. I'm trying to go at Iowa here, but I want to say real quick, because I liked the three-headed monster after the TJ Hawkinson trade. If you look at Super Bowl teams, or if you even look at like teams that made the Super Bowl or made the conference championship game, whatever it is, the dynamic offenses have tight ends. Okay, so that was something I wanted the Lions to focus on, either the second or third round of the draft, because of it being such a deep tight end draft class. And there were some people, I'm not trying to say questioning it or skeptical at it. It was just more so like, it did what we needed it to do next year. And that's kind of my overarching point here is that's why you took Jahmyr Gibbs at pick number 12. That's why you took Sam Laporta at pick number 34. This isn't a rebuilding team. The Detroit Lions were a game away from the playoffs last season. They almost won 10 games, and the way they started the season compared to the way they finished the season has to have this Lions management and coaching and player staff thinking to themselves, why not? Why not? I'm not saying the Detroit Lions 100% are going to make the Super Bowl next season, but what I am saying here is why not? Honestly, why not? You have the quarterback, you have the offensive line, you have the offense in general, and you have a young up-and-coming defense that showed huge flashes at the end of the season. And speaking of the defense, you also picked up Brian Branch, the safety out of Bama. I don't know how on earth Brian Branch went middle of the second round. I really don't. I remember watching mock drafts or reading mock drafts all offseason saying Brian Branch to my Packers at what did it before we traded away Aaron Rodgers, pick 15, pick 17, whatever it was. This guy fell to 45. This is a day one starter. This is a day one contributor to pair with CJ Gardner-Johnson. But the nitpickers will say, they'll look at the move of, DeAndre Swift or losing Jamal Williams or, DJ Chark or Evan Brown, or they'll look on the defensive side and you're trading away Jeff. And it's like, no, Brad Holmes knows exactly what he's doing. And he showed me that last season. And so if I'm a Lions fan right now, and once again, I'm a Packers fan, to just hammer home that point, I'm a Packers fan. I fully believe in Brad Holmes. I fully believe in this Detroit Lions team. I think they had a phenomenal job. And before we get away, because this wasn't necessarily a draft video, Antoine Green, wide receiver out of North Carolina, pick number 219 in the 7th round. This is a guy, and Lions fans are fully aware of this, actually. It's very cool. Antoine Green is a player who is going to contribute next season. And this is a 7th round pick we are talking about. He will 100% contribute, especially on deep balls next season. I just want to get that out there. Not too worried about that offense in any facet, and not too worried about that defense in any facet. This Lions team is here to stay, and they're going to be here for quite a bit. So get used to it, and the NFL world's waking up to it. It is kind of cool to see, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Lions fans, get this video to 250 likes. I appreciate y'all so much. Peace.